Hello. All right, guys, weekly live. I am going to pull up my Facebook group because I have a ton of questions today. So if you are watching the replay, make sure you subscribe to this channel. My name's Emilee, and I teach anxiety recovery, nervous system recovery, triple PD, chronic dizziness, POTS, DPDR, everything that goes under that nervous system umbrella, pretty much, I teach. So these questions are all coming from my free private Facebook community, which you can access through the link in the description to this video. So make sure that you've joined that. We're just going to launch right into things. I have so many questions, and frankly, I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them today, but I'm going to try to. And if you have additional questions, throw them in the chat because I do try to prioritize the live ones. So, number one, Bailey says, can things truly get worse before they get better? Like your nervous system is trying so hard to get your attention because you're not buying what it's selling, so it just ramps up. 100%. Yes. Not only can it, but it will. Like, it's just something to expect. It's just kind of how this whole thing works. So 100%. The reasons why is like, as you can like do more and things like that, I like to equate it a lot to like exercise, like you're like lifting heavier weights and that sort of thing. So you're going to be sore. But like you said too, it's like when you stop buying what it's selling, it's kind of like, like new symptoms, old symptoms. What about this? Louder. So like 1,000,000% yes. And that's also what really held me back. And for the longest time, I would kind of get on the right track and then I would get hit with like a setback or like increased symptoms. And I would feel like, okay, I've done something wrong. I've overdone it, whatever the case might be. And then there I was back on the hamster wheel, or I would think like, oh, it must be something else or blah, blah, blah. Right. And so I'd kind of end up right back at square one. So yeah, I would definitely expect that to happen. That's why for myself, coaching was so valuable. And that's why I love to coach people, is because navigating those setbacks and figuring out what's wrong and what's right. There are so many times that I was like on the right track. And literally it was as simple as I would get derailed and think that I had done too much or something else was going on. And then I would hop back on the wheel. You know what I mean? Let's see. Next. So Connor said, I see you're talking about nervous system regulation. This really hits me. I used to be super outgoing, but now I get terrible neck and shoulder pain, jaw tension, dizziness, migraines. Everything looks off whenever I'm in a closed space or talking to somebody. Do you think this could all be caused by nervous system? So Connor, what I would say is like, if you have already gotten your regular stuff checked out by a doctor, then like absolutely. If you're kind of in this place where you've gotten things checked out, nobody's giving you answers. Maybe they're saying like, oh, it's anxiety or whatever. 100%. This is exactly what I went through as well. And I did the jaw stuff. I went to a TMJ specialist. I paid thousands upon thousands of dollars for stuff that did not help me. So frustrating. And yes, what happens is your body goes into this state of chronic fight or flight. And so like you'll be able to see one day, but like years will typically precede this of yellow flags and orange flags and red flags. And then your body kind of enters this chronic state of fight or flight, right? And so it always thinks it's in danger. And so you're getting all of these chronic symptoms. The tension is like its own cycle, right? I would catch myself like this all the time, right? So as I teach ideal in my recovery guide on my webinar and stuff, in my link, like my coaching is kind of based off this acronym that I teach. It's not just like identify, designate. It's like, we're safe. Roll the neck. It literally just popped, So just constant signals of safety to the body and encompassing that body safety too. But yeah, I would say all those symptoms are like totally nervous system. I dealt with every single one of those symptoms, including the chronic migraines, and it's so easy to like symptom chase for the rest of your life. So if you're getting non-answers, I would definitely encourage you to, go down this path. Tony, let's see. Did you have neck pain? Yes. I still have neck pain, to be completely honest. So neck pain's like one of the really annoying things that kind of showed up. It wasn't my first symptom, and it makes sense because we're up here for so long, right? with the dizziness, especially, I was like gripping my chair, like, that I didn't exercise for so long. Like, so when I did get back to like exercising and stretching and walking and working out and all that kind of stuff, it just took time for my body to get back to normal. But I have so many like knots, like I can like, and I get massages and stuff like that now. I'm kind of like recovering from that in some ways, but definitely with the neck tension, like when you notice yourself tense all the time, as you apply Ideal, again, identify, we're good, we're safe, right? Just this constant like swaying can kind of help release some of that chronic tension, dropping the shoulders, rolling the neck. But ultimately, as your body gets more and more out of a chronic state of fight or flight, you don't have as much chronic tension, but it's super common. Totally dealt with that. Let's see. So Yarlene, been watching your videos. They're great. That's so awesome. I've been experiencing this weird neurologic symptom of feeling heavy legs and arms with tingling. I've been checked by a neuro and nothing showed. Yeah, I had so many neurological symptoms. It's like not even funny. So frustrating. That was really what scared me, and it convinced me for so long that like this was not nervous system or anxiety or whatever, because I didn't understand it, and I just felt like, how can anxiety cause all this stuff? But ultimately it can. And I would say like the majority of my really scary symptoms were totally like neurological type stuff, which led me to think that it was MS or insert ALS or whatever I thought it was at the time, millions of things, right? But if you're getting checked out and things are coming back normal, it is a high chance that it's nervous system, and there's a high chance that I experienced it. So they are really scary. But the more that you understand them, they become less of a threat. They become less scary, honestly. Okay, so next question. Bridget, tips on how to continue healing while just having a baby. My triple PD is way worse throughout the day because of lack of sleep, 3 to 4 hours a night, pumping, breastfeeding, baby is 3 weeks old. I feel like my healing has taken a huge toll, and I'm worried it's going to get worse. So Bridget, what I would say, congratulations. I had a baby through this. I got pregnant literally 3 months into this. So I gave birth when I was still incredibly symptomatic. Yeah, I totally understand. Couple practical things. So number one, if you're not already, make sure that you're using Ideal, that you have like the solid framework and path to recovery. Within the next 2 weeks, hopefully, I'm going to have my course live. And this course is going to have nearly 100 videos that I'm like putting everything into this course. So if you don't have the recovery guide, grab it. If you buy the course, I'll give you a promo code that will like take the recovery guide fee off the course, basically. So if you get the recovery guide now, it's not going to be a problem, is what I'm saying. But the course will lay the foundation that you need. Even the last sentence of like, I'm worried it's going to get worse, the worrying, the engagement with the fear, that's really what keeps it alive, right? We can't change what our body does. We can't change even sleep and stuff like that in that season of life. But we can change our relationship with it and our fear of it and that sort of thing. So practically speaking, I mean, if you're married and you have a spouse or whoever that's able to help you, let them help you. Honestly, like this is like controversial or whatever, but like I decided not to breastfeed personally. I'm a pretty natural person, but like I just decided that I was already going through so much at the time, and I did not want to breastfeed because I couldn't sleep if I had to breastfeed. And there's just so much energy that's like involved in that. So I personally chose not to breastfeed because of that. And it was helpful for me, actually. So like that was a choice that I made. Taking the pressure off your shoulders, right? Like I think that's so big. If you have someone that can help you, let them help you. And the biggest thing is using Ideal, applying the right mindsets, watching my course as soon as it comes out, or at least reading my recovery guide for now, and then not adding fear to fear, right? Not adding fear to symptoms. So comments, I constantly feel like I'm going to faint, especially when I move my neck and look down. Is that triple PD or anxiety? Oh my gosh, yeah. So I went through that too. I would say, like, again, if you've been checked out, blah, 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 right? With the neck, you get so much tension. And so if you already have triple PD, your vestibular system is already on hyperguard. It's already like sensing every which movement and like magnifying everything that's normal. You start looking around and now your neck is triggering vertigo and things like that, and additional vestibular symptoms. So it's not that it's your neck necessarily, it's just that when you kind of get in the cycle, everything is like a piece of the puzzle, right? But the ultimate reason is the nervous system. And so even like, is that triple PD or anxiety? Well, frankly, triple PD is fueled by stress and anxiety. So it's all kind of one and the same, right? But the fear of it, the fear of fainting is anxiety. The feeling of fainting is triple PD, which is fueled by stress and anxiety. So it's kind of like a loaded question, but the cure is addressing the nervous system either way. All that stuff, triple PD, dizziness, that was like one of my major symptoms. Let's see. So Lindsay said, here we go. Lindsay said, how can you trust God when you can't even trust your own body? That's a good question. So that's kind of that's like a lot. It's like so much I could say. I could sit here for an hour and talk about that. What I would say about that is, I think in order to trust God, you have to know God really well, right? And I'm not saying like you don't know God, you don't have enough faith, but I'm saying I didn't know God the way that I wanted to know God. I didn't have the faith that I wanted to have, to be honest. And for a long time, I had so much fear and such a misunderstanding of God and God's character and who He is and how much He loves me and how much He loves you. And I think the biggest thing that I would say is getting to know God, right? Getting to know God more and more and more and more, and His character and who He is and what His promises are, right? And how He's steady and He's perfect and He's not changing. I think that's huge. And the next thing is choosing to trust God and making a habit of it. And it's as simple as that, because for the longest time, I tried so hard to rationalize and like trust because I rationalized it and understood it, which didn't happen, right? And so instead, it's like taking these giant weights off of our shoulders that we're not meant to carry and being like, here they are, God, I trust you. You can have them. And maybe a millisecond later, your mind's like, no, but. And it's like back to ideal. No, I'm giving these to you. I'm not carrying them anymore. You're carrying me. Thank you. Move on. And then a second later, right? So it's not that it has to necessarily click, but I would say as you trust God, as you surrender your symptoms, as you surrender this false sense of control, everything else will kind of like play out naturally, if that makes sense. And I would encourage you, Lindsay, get the book by Jamie Winship, Living Fearless. It's all about identity, hearing from God, learning how to hear from God, learning how to be in relationship with God. I think that book will be huge for you. So I highly recommend that. And when my course comes out, I'm going to have a big old spiritual section in there. Everything spiritual. I mean, I'm a believer. So it's the worldview that I teach out of. But I'm going to have a section like specifically for that too. I'm going to check the chats over here now. So can a person with triple PD or anxiety actually faint? Well, let me tell you this. I mean, anybody can faint, okay? There's different reasons why people can faint. So, yes, but like if you don't have a fainting disorder and you haven't fainted yet, the chances of you fainting are slim. If your doctor doesn't think that you have any abnormal chance of fainting, the chances are slim, right? And so even so, it'd be out of our control, but I can't tell you how much the fear of fainting ruled my life for so long and completely debilitated me and made me agoraphobic, basically, because I thought I was going to faint. And so I stopped driving and I stopped going places and I stopped living my life because I thought I was going to faint, and I never fainted, right? So that's what I would say about that. Okay, let's see. Gina, what do you do if you don't have a supportive spouse? Are there any resources to try to help them understand what we're going through Is there a way to recover if you don't have that support and are constantly reminded that you're a burden and hard to deal with? Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through that. So, what I would say about that, a couple things. Number one, really strengthen your relationship with God. I think that's huge. I would also say, if you're able to, sign up for coaching because you'll have a community. Like I do one-on-one. The way that I do coaching now is basically a blend where we meet weekly one-on-one. We have a WhatsApp thread. We can chit chat back and forth throughout the day and navigate things. And I also have a small group too of like, I only coach 15, 20 people max at a time. And it allows me to create a really awesome, healthy, non-toxic community of people that understand what you're going through. And it's not like a crash out session. It's like very, very, very productive and uplifting and positive. So that can be helpful. And also, Gina, I am going to release in the course a video. I just outlined it today. So here it is. I'm going to release in the course a video about supporting your loved one through this and how to do it. Because a lot of times, some of that frustration can come from a good place. And I don't know your situation, but sometimes, especially like our husbands, really want to help us and they can't help us, and that frustrates them, you know? So BG and I, my husband, are going to sit down and go through this video. And so some of the topics that we're going to talk about in this video inside the course that'll be out in like 2 weeks or so. So like, this is the advice we're going to give to someone supporting somebody else through this. Number one, understanding, teaching them how to understand what's going on, teaching them how to become a team with you. Explaining to them kind of like how debilitating, exhausting, what's happening, all that kind of stuff to them, that this is not rational. Fight or flight's not rational. Teaching them patience versus frustration, teaching them how to like help you just like minimize some stress. And we're not avoiding things. I do not teach avoidance. I teach you how to get back to life, but just how to help you along the way. Teaching them that you are the best person to tell them what they need on a daily basis, because it changes on a daily basis. A principle that BG and I have is like, together as a family, we slow down in order to speed up. So if one person needs to slow down, we all slow down, and then we all speed up together. Teaching them how to be a spiritual leader and just talking about the importance of spiritual leadership in the household, how to pray over you, how to hold that role and be that rock in the family. Teaching them how to navigate setbacks with you, you know, how to push you enough but not too much, how to support you, and then how to have like check-ins with you. So it's going to be a very practical, like, just conversation on how to support somebody through this. Okay, so next, let's see. Also in the comments, how do I sign up for the program? So my website, I'll put it in the chat really quick, panictopeacecommunity.com. You can apply for coaching there. I only accept a certain number of people. I'm very quality over quantity, you know? So I don't just take on a ton of people and kind of sort of help them. I take on a select number of people and really, really, really lay a foundation to help you recover forever, you know? Okay. But I would love to look at your application. So definitely apply, and I'll look for your name. Let's see. What's next? Okay. Kevin. Everyone, if you can too, take a sec. Will you like this video, like while it's going live, or like subscribe if you're not subscribed, because it really helps the algorithm and keeps it like, you know, going. So thank you. Okay, so Kevin, between the vertigo instances and balance issues of swaying constantly, is there a way to help myself? It is truly debilitating some days. Then of course the anxiety gets out of hand. From Beverly. So Beverly, yes, there is totally a way to help yourself. So what I would say is start with my guide. Read it. Read all of it. So it's also on my website, Recovery Guide. The course is going to be amazing. It's going to lay down like what you need to understand to recover. But at least start with the guide for now and start memorizing ideal. And so when you're constantly swaying and rocking, what we want to do is, one, we want to tense up. We want to white knuckle. We want to do kind of the bare minimum, get in the store, get out of the store if we're even going into the store. we're wondering, man, why is this so bad today? It was better yesterday. It's getting worse. What is it? Is it the supplement that I took? Is it what I ate? Is it this? Is it that? When's it going to go away? Like, what if it's here next week? What if, And so all that stuff fuels it. So when you learn how to start applying Ideal in the recovery guide, it will teach you how to respond. And what that looks like, to give you an example with the dizziness, is you're feeling all this stuff and imbalance, and you're out somewhere and you feel like you're on the edge of vertigo and all that, right? So, right, release the shoulders, drop. Okay, roll the neck, right? Sway a little bit. It kind of meets the dizziness where it's at. Identify. Super dizzy. Whatnot, right? Okay, designate. This is just my nervous system, right? It's on hyper alert, but we are safe. There's no lion, so we don't need to engage. The symptoms can do what they want to do. They can increase. They can morph. Nothing I need to do. I'm going to allow them. My goal is to fully allow the symptoms. And over time, this becomes a mindset. And so you'll even notice me sometimes swaying. I'm always swaying now. And it's not because I'm always dizzy. It's just like a habit that I got into, I guess. But it's just this mindset of like inner peace, and like not even in this new agey like inner peace way, but like I am safe because God is in control. I don't have to be in control because God is in control. I am okay because God created my body. No matter what happens, I'm okay because his plan is perfect, even if I don't think it looks perfect. And I'm like, what the heck's going on, right? He knows what's going on. And so therefore it's good. And because I know God knows character and I trust God, I'm good, right? And so learning how to cultivate this mindset is key, but start with the recovery guide. Let's see. So, oh my gosh, Lindsay, what are some of the illnesses you were convinced you had? Dude. So, oh my gosh. I mean, I got diagnosed with a lot of things. Molds, went down that rabbit trail for a long time. Heavy metals. I had like arsenic in my like urine or something. So I was convinced it was metals. Gut dysbiosis, chronic inflammation, autoimmunity, MS, ALS, vestibular migraine. I was diagnosed with. Oh my gosh. I was diagnosed with POTS, dysautonomia. I thought I had Cushing syndrome at one point because I have like, just like my neck. I can't really tell. I have kind of like a neck, like weird neck hump posture thing. And so I was convinced that I had Cushing syndrome and that I had high cortisol. I don't even know. The list goes on and on. I mean, it got so crazy at one point. I was getting like moles removed on my face and I was convinced that it was like a mole. Like, I mean, I was grasping at straws at one point, but I had so many different illnesses that I was convinced that I had. I mean, there was things, chronic fatigue I was diagnosed with, anxiety, of course, OCD. I mean, so many things, countless things. Let's see. What was your highest heart rate? I don't even know. It was pretty high, but like, you know what's crazy is with the heart rate, my heart rate was high, like sitting to standing, functioning. It was always over 100 for a long time there. Now it's probably like 65 or something, but it was always really high. And like when I got to working out, it would be like lower exercising than it was like surviving for a period of time. So it was all over the place. Okay. So in the chat, are you still wearing prism glasses? No. Honestly, that was one of the biggest like flops, like things that I bought and stuff like that. That was something else. Yeah, I was convinced it was all BVD for a while. So LC, long C, I can't say it on here. I was convinced it was that. But with the prism lenses, they were super frustrating, and I just kept like going back and forth and getting more and more pairs of glasses and different prescriptions, and it was just putting focus. And it was a misorder because it's like, do I have convergence insufficiency? Yeah, I still do. Okay, like I always have. Like it wasn't the problem, wasn't the core problem anyway. But when my nervous system went into hyperdrive, it became a problem. And so it's almost like trying to point fingers at the wrong thing. And then when we start chasing symptoms instead of chasing the root, we have problems. So yeah, I would say like prism lenses were not helpful for me, were kind of like a waste of money, and I am not wearing them anymore. I'm wearing normal glasses. The one thing that I will wear sometimes that you'll see in different videos is like migraine glasses. And it's usually when I'm like in front of a ring light, which I'm not right now, but they just like drive me crazy. So I'll wear migraine glasses in front of a ring light. But yeah, so prism lenses were not the move for me. Question Annalisa about why do we feel more sensitized around our periods, and like why are intrusive thoughts worse? So yeah, like when hormones fluctuate and stuff like that, it's normal to be more sensitized. I dealt with that. I got diagnosed with PMDD at one point too. But it's just because when you're in this state and your body's already like on one, and then you add like hormonal fluctuations, your body's just magnifying all the normal things. So like normally I already don't feel very well for those like 2 weeks out of the month, right? But it's okay. And like when I was in the anxiety cycle, it was magnified to the point where like me not feeling well translated to like derealization, panic attacks, extra dizziness, migraines, the list goes on. So it's really just that your body's magnifying all the normal changes and perceiving any sort of change as a threat for now. Also, with the letdown effect, is it a good sign of recovery? Yeah. So, like, when your body's panicking and it's like on hyperdrive for a very long time, and then it goes into this letdown effect where now your body's just feel numb and you don't really feel anything and you feel kind of depressed and just blah. It's kind of the result of it spinning its wheels and getting so exhausted and then almost recuperating. So it can be a good sign. And it's just something to not fight. Like you just have to learn how to allow every stage of recovery and every symptom and every season, you know? Let's see. So Nicole, I live with my parents, and rely on them a lot for everything. My dad has some health issues. How do you deal with worrying about things that are out of your control and thoughts like I'm going to be like this forever? Like, should I be taking care of them? Not the other way around. Oh, I should be. Yeah. So what I would say is like memorize the 5 Fs. This is like a concept out there in the anxiety world. I make it up. Adding fear, fighting, fixing, focusing, frustration. I would also add pressure, pace of life to that. So pressure, especially in a situation. So you take this and you run it through the lens of like, is this a 5F? Yes. And I'm pressuring myself. I'm adding fear. I'm trying whatever. Like, so those things are going to keep me stuck and they're not productive, right? And so when they're not productive, we go to ideal and we say, okay, identify. I'm feeling all this guilt, all this whatever, all these intrusive thoughts, all this worrying. Okay, designate. This is not productive. Embrace. The thoughts can linger. They can keep popping up all day long. I will not engage. Takes two to tango. Move on. 1 second later, they're back. Nope, we're not doing this. We don't have to get the thoughts to go away. We're just not going to engage. So they can be here, but I'm not doing it. Move on. Second later, boom. And eventually, it literally retrains your brain. This is brain retraining. Like, your brain has these neural pathways and how it thinks and how it's conditioned to think. So when your brain gets used to thinking thoughts a certain way, it literally creates these neural circuits where it becomes easier and easier to think like the same thought over and over again. So that's just how your brain works. But thankfully, God made our bodies and our brains to be plastic. And so because of neuroplasticity, we are able to rewire our brain and change our thoughts, right, over time. So it takes time, but long story short is use Ideal, read my guide, watch my course. The course, you guys, is going to be killer. So watch the course. And consistency. Consistency is key. Seriously. And within my course too, we get into like identity and stuff like that too, and like all these false identities that we can carry. Which I think will probably play a role in that and the guilt and stuff like that too. So someone said I walk 20 minutes daily. Is that good? Great. Awesome. Keep it up. Challenge yourself. Walk more. Pursue normalcy. So if normally you'd walk an hour, push towards that hour. If normally you'd walk 20 minutes, fantastic, right? Continue on to the next normal thing, but that's great. So how can we differentiate between dizziness when we're really going to faint and not currently fainting dizziness. So I would say, like, if you have a fainting disorder, take that up with your doctor. If you don't, then what are the chances, right? Like, if you always feel like you're going to faint, but you don't, chances are very, 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 very slim that you're going to faint. You know what I mean? So if you haven't fainted yet, that makes that one really easy. Okay, let's see. For driving with agoraphobia, do you think driving a distance until you get bored with it and then increasing the distance is good? When do you know if avoidance is keeping you from pushing further? So with driving and exposure, what I actually recommend is to pick a natural goal. So like, instead of being like, I'm just going to drive and drive and drive and drive and drive until I'm not anxious anymore. I don't really like that. And I also don't like I'm going to drive and drive and drive until I have to turn around because I'm too anxious. I really don't like that one. The reason I like the first one is because it's not natural. You know, like, we don't normally just get in our car and drive and drive and drive and drive and drive. So it's just like a weird thing to do, right? And your body knows that. The second one I really don't like because you end on a bad note. So you end up retreating because you got too anxious. That's like the worst that you can do, actually. You don't want to end on a bad note every time and retreat from symptoms because they got too high. So what I recommend is starting a schedule and putting normal things into that schedule. So like, if normally you would go pick up groceries from the grocery store, make yourself a grocery list and go to the grocery store and get your milk, eggs, butter, and cheese. And that's your goal, instead of like, I'm going to drive until I'm done with this, right? Like, it's really just kind of meeting things where it's at and teaching your body how to get back to normalcy. So that's what I would say. A couple more questions, guys. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of these, but let's see. Sergio, I have every possible symptom for autoimmunity, but tests are coming back fine. How can I trust it's just anxiety? Honestly, even when I was recovering, I did have positive ANA tests. I was getting like positive lupus panels and stuff like that, which I now don't have. So like, even if you are getting autoimmunity, but there's no clear reason, like, that's even normal when your body's under this much stress. But if you're getting if the tests are coming back clear, you're not going to trust that it's anxiety, because that's how anxiety works. Like, you're not going to rationalize it. You're not going to come to a place of like fully agreeing with it and trusting it. It's a choice, and it's just choosing day after day, one day at a time, to rewire your brain. So basically, start using Ideal and just say like, I am choosing to believe. I don't have to believe. I don't have to make myself believe. I don't have to wait till I believe. I'm just going to choose to believe, move on, you know? Kelly, is sound sensitivity, nervous system after COVID, also tinnitus, and what helps? All that's normal. I had major sound sensitivity tonight, the tinnitus, whatever, ear ringing, ear thumping, helicopter sounds, frequencies, planes flying over miles away would like drive me crazy, everything. As the body desensitizes, these things fall off. So my advice to you is like, don't look for something to just help these symptoms. Kind of go after the whole approach, right? So like, approach the nervous system, read my guide, watch my course when it comes out. But if you try to attack certain symptoms, you're never going to get to the root. You know what I mean? So like, let them be. Learn how to let them be and let your body chill. But yes, I definitely had all of that, all the ear stuff, ringing, thumping, everything. Let's see. Okay, I have, I think, 2. Wow, I've got a lot of questions on here. Okay, so I was doing really good. Now the panic, etc., came back. How does someone accept that? It's destroying me. So I would say like, change the way you're thinking about recovery. Recovery is not linear. So if you expect it to be like, we get better and better and better and better and come out of this, it will not go that way. And it will always let you down, and it will always get you back on the hamster wheel. So instead, when you have good periods, great, we're happy. But every time your mind's like resisting bad happening, it's like, no, if it gets bad, it gets bad. Oh, well, move on. Like, I'll deal with that then. I'll respond. I have the tools to respond. Recovery is learning how to respond to discomfort and things that are outside of our control without adding more fuel to the fire, right? So that's what I would say to you, is change your whole view on recovery and what recovery is. And recovery is not getting rid of it. Recovery is being able to respond, and as a result, it goes away, right? But that's not the goal. So definitely the course will be good for you because I lay that out super hardcore. Let's see. Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to find a couple more questions because I am pretty much at a stopping point, but I want to get to as many as I can. This is a good one. So Nicole too. How do you begin to figure out who you are or what you like when anxiety has almost become your identity for so long? You go on walks and drives, but are still so scared to try new things, and months are passing you by. Yeah, Nicole, you'd probably be a really good candidate for coaching. But what I would say to you is like, make yourself a schedule and ask yourself, like, what would you like? Like, what would you normally do if you don't know what that is? Try new things and just put them on your schedule, right? It's like maybe volunteer somewhere, or if that sounds totally out of your realm, work up to that, right? Go sit at a coffee shop, go read a book, join a church small group, like start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone each day more and more. With identity, read the book. I've already recommended it on this call once, I think, but Jamie Winship, Living Fearless, you have to read that book. It's all about identity. So there's such a spiritual component to that. Last one. Sorry, guys, if you're on my Facebook and I didn't get to you. I know I'm trying to get to you guys. Last one. So, Katie, my OG Katie on here. So, how do you stop the control behavior when symptoms are almost unbearable and trust that you won't crumble if you just let go? Honestly, I feel like it's never going to stop. I don't distract or fight it, but I know that only makes it worse. Oh, if I don't distract or fight it. Yeah. Basically, like, you literally just have to do it. It's like not the best advice, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, you literally just have to like go for it and show yourself, because the only way to see that there's nothing on the other side is to experience it. So when you literally feel like this is it, I cannot take this symptom, I'm going to faint, go crazy, whatever, like literally like, okay, hit me with your best shot, right? Like, I am done living in fear of this. I'm sick of this. I am sick of being controlled by this. Like, I am not playing this game anymore. Like, if it kills me, it kills me. And that's kind of the mindset that I got to, where I'm like, dude, if I die, I freaking die. But I can't do this anymore. And I can't like live in fear all the time anymore. So really just being like, it is what it is. Let's see what freaking happens. Because all that's happened so far is the fear of it and this false sense of control of like, if I don't control it, like I'm going to go over the edge right here. I was at my limit. I almost fainted. I almost like, no, that didn't happen. Like you didn't almost faint, right? And that's what I had to tell myself. I'm like, no, I just told myself that I almost fainted. I didn't almost faint. Like I felt like I was going to faint. And then I felt like I controlled something. And that's just not even a thing. Like it's like a false sense. So just really exposure and showing yourself, you know? So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And, one more question. Okay. I see it in the chat. How do you overcome the fear of falling asleep? Oh my gosh. So this was like my first symptom that I had. I was jolting awake. I felt like falling asleep equated to dying, basically, subconsciously and somewhat subconsciously. So what I would say about that is really start using Ideal. When it comes to sleep, your goal is not to sleep. Your goal is to rest. You lay down. That's it. And if you happen to sleep, you happen to sleep. Get yourself up at a regular time each day, no matter how much you sleep. Get yourself in routine and just use Ideal and in the recovery guide. And then also that will retrain your brain over time. Pursue normalcy. Don't get up, don't pace, don't turn on the TV, don't turn on your phone. Just do what you would normally do. So if normally you would lay there, lay there. And eventually that fear will go away. And something else that I like is the Abide app. It's like a Christian bedtime story app. And it was something to redirect to. So when I was going to Ideal and I was like, address task at hand, I'm like, what am I going to do? You know, I'm laying here. So the Abide app was helpful, you know. Cool. And yes, I did have tinnitus, whatever, majorly. But okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you can and you're watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Leave comments. All that stuff helps the algorithm so much. And I'm so glad I can make these for you guys. Make sure if you have not already read my recovery guide, read my recovery guide. And I will have my course coming out soon. There's an area you can sign up for like a course notification. Put your email on my website because I'll send it to you right when it comes out. I'll send you a promo code. Yeah. So thank you guys so much.